G'day. This lesson I'm going to look at the minor bar chords. They're pretty easy. In previous lessons where we looked at major bar chords, they were all either based on the E shape open chord or the A shape open chord. And all you do is make a bar. I'm just recapping here. So if the bass note is on the 6th string, it's an E shape. So in this case, it would be a G chord, where I'm playing here on the 3rd fret. That's your G major. And an A shape, the bass note would be on the 5th string. So that's a C chord I'm playing here. And I showed you a lazy way of playing where I just flatten all those and I don't play the top E string. And you can play them anywhere on the neck. So we already know how to find all the major chords with just those two shapes. So for minor chords, which we're looking at now, it's the same principle. It's just an open minor shape, but with a bar. So for the E shape, we already know this, but I'll recap it. To make an E major into a minor, you're going to flatten that highest note that you're fretting, this one. So it'll basically be an open string. So an E major to a minor, you're just taking your finger off. So we could apply that to our bar shape anywhere. There's a major shape, and just taking your finger off makes it a minor. And in this case, it's a G minor because that was a G major. Pretty easy. And then your A major chord, open chord. Same idea. We're going to flatten the highest note that you're fretting there. This one is going to go one flat. So it means we change our finger position. There's an A minor, which everybody probably knows. So it's the same idea as well. If we're playing a major chord on this, like an A shape as a bar, then we need to make it an A minor shape. And it ends up being the same as the same position as your E shape, just moved up a string. There's your minor, same as your E major and your A minor are the same, relative positions. That's your major shape, moved up a string, that becomes a minor shape on the 5th string bass note. So in this case, that would be a D minor chord. And it's actually pretty easy. Playing the traditional 3-finger shape, you've got to replace all your fingers to make it the minor. Playing my cheats way of the lazy A that I called it, lazy A shape, doesn't matter where you play the chord, you can play it right up here. It's actually not so hard to place your fingers into the minor shape that you need. You're just flattening this finger down, but all the other fingers are relatively in the right spot. So I very rarely play, I think I told you last time, I very rarely play this kind of squashed picture that you'll find in most books. I always kind of just play it like that with 2 fingers. Quite easy to go to the minor from there. So we've already found all the major chords in the previous lesson. So we kind of know now all the minor chords. No matter what you find, this is a G, if it's this shape, you take your finger off. There's an A to an A minor. There's a B flat to a B flat minor, etc. And if it's the other shape, the lazy A shape, so that's a D. You go to a D minor chord. It's always going to be the same shape. Same as your E shape moved up. And no matter where you find the chord, what's this chord going to be? That's a C sharp, so my C sharp minor. Pretty easy. Okay, so we know where the majors are. Where do the minors fit in? So in a scale of notes, do, re, mi, fa, so, etc., we're going to number all those notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, makes the octave. But for the purpose of working out the majors and the minors, we don't need the 7 and the 8. We're just going to look at the first 6 notes of the scale. And for the major chords, the 1 is going to be the first note of the scale. The next major chord is going to be the 4, and then the 5. Now, we looked at that when we checked out major chords, and you often see this written in Roman numerals. So that leaves, for the minor chords, it's going to be the 2, the 3, and the 6th. And as you can see, I've put those in lowercase Roman numerals. But they will all be the minor chords. So if we were in the key of C, then the notes of the scale, do, re, mi, etc., would be C, D, E, F, G, A. And looking at our chart at the top, the C, the first chord, is going to be the 1. The 4 is going to be the F, and the 5 will be the G, and we already know that those are the 3 major chords in the key of C. So the 2 will be minor, D minor, the 3 will be E minor, and the 6 will be minor, makes that A minor. And as you can see, those are all pretty well-known minors in the key of C. We recognise these chords pretty easily. If it happened to be the key of G, then the first 6 notes of the scale are G, A, B, C, D, and E. So the major chords will be the G, the first, the C, and the D. And then the 2, the 3, and the 6 will be minors. A minor, B minor, and E minor. And those are the chords we know in the key of G. So just quickly, I'll look at everything, all the common ones. Key of D, the notes will be D, E, F sharp, G, A, and B. So the major chords will be D, G, and A. And the minor chords will be E minor, F sharp minor, and B minor. If we were looking at the key of A, the scale would go A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. And once again, you can see the 1, the 4, and the 5 are major, A, D, and E. And the 2, 3, and 6 are minor, so that's B minor, C sharp minor, and F sharp minor in the key of A. You can see how this pattern is pretty easy to figure out. In the key of E, we would have E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and C sharp. So the major chords are E, A, and B, and the minor chords are F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and C sharp minor. And we'll do one more because F is also a pretty common key to play in. F, the scale would be F, G, A, B flat, C, and D, which leaves our majors to be F chord, the B flat chord, and the C chord, and the minors would be G minor, A minor, and D minor. And if you pay attention to the 6th chords, all the minors on the right-hand side, those are the relative minors of the key. So along the top line, for instance, in C, all those chords are in C, and A minor is the relative minor. So if you were playing in the key of A minor, those would also be the same chords: C, F, and G major, D minor, E minor, and A minor. So the A minor is the most common minor chord in the key of C. And that's the same for all those chords on the right-hand side. They are the relative minors of their equivalent major keys. So the ones in the column all by themselves are the ones that you're most likely going to see in any of those keys. So where do we find these minor chords on the neck? Remember I said that I often don't necessarily even know the names of the chords that I'm playing, but I know the relative positions to find them. And it comes back to using the rectangle of bass notes on the 6th and the 5th string. So wherever you, on the 6th string, let's say, wherever you decide your root note's going to be, so let's make it a G, it's a G note. My rectangle is going to start in that corner. This next one will be the 4th, and that one will be the 5th on the D, on the A string. So that is my number 1 chord, a G, an E shape. I know where my 4 chord and my 5 chord are going to be, and they'll be A shape chords. So if I know this is my number 1 chord and I want to find the 2 chord, it's just going to be 2 frets up from that 1. So it'll be the other corner of that rectangle. And because it's a 2, it'll be minor. And because it's on that bottom string, it'll be a minor E minor shape. There's my minor chord there. If I want to find the 3 chord, that will just be 2 up from the 2 chord. And that'll be minor. And then if you think my 4 was back here on this note, my 5 was here, 2 frets higher than the 5 will be the 6, and will be on the same fret as the 3, but it'll be up to the 5th string minor shape, the A minor shape. There's a minor 6th there. So 1, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3 there, 4, 5, and 6. Now remember, if you can find the minor 3rd here. You could also, you know this is the 4th chord. The minor 3rd would be 1 fret lower there. So this would also be the same chord, different inversion, which is really handy to know. But it kind of just completes. There's your first rectangle. It kind of creates another rectangle. So it makes them very easy to find. And if it was all, if I want to start now in a different key, I just have to know I'm starting in A. And I can find all my majors and minors. Makes it really handy for so many songs. You just know where you need to go, because you usually don't need all 6 chords. There's usually only 1 minor, maybe 2 amongst your major chords. Depends on the song. But knowing that you've just got a few places to find them, and they're all really close to each other, and they're all quite it's all quite organised once you remember that pattern. And remember, that's if the root note's starting on the 6th string. If the root note's starting on the 5th string, so it's our first chord is a A-shaped chord. There's our 1. So I'm playing a D major chord. My 4 is down on the 6th string, and my 5 is here. It's the same principle. There's my 1. So my 2 is going to be 2 frets higher and minor. My 3 is going to be, so we know that's my 4. My 3 is going to be a fret lower than the 4 is. Because that's the thing you've got to remember. 3 and 4 are only 1 fret apart. but there's my minor, there's my 4 major, there's my 5. My 6 will be 2 frets up from the 5, and it'll be minor. So in this version, oh, and also 6 minor here, there's my 1. 4 frets down would be the same minor on a 6. But what it means is if I know my 1, my 4, and my 5 are these corners of the triangle of the rectangle, 2 frets up, and I've got a minor and a minor, or from my 4, 1 fret down, and I've got a minor and a minor. There's the 6th, there's the 3rd, my 4th, my 5th, and my number 1 major chords. 2 frets up, my minor and my minor, the 2 and the 6, the relative minor. So this shape actually, it's very symmetrical around that rectangle. But play around with those now. All you need to do is figure out the rectangle that you're starting on, and what chords you're going to call your root note, your 1, your 4, and your 5. The major chords are the important ones to kind of remember, because then the minor chords just fit in relatively to those. And just experiment playing around up the neck. And remember, you still have your open chords. There's no reason why you can't, if you happen to be playing an F right up here, there's no reason why you can't go down and play your F, your chords at the bottom end of the neck, play your C as a normal open C. But now you'll be able to find some of those more unusual chords that you might not have known, and because you know the pattern. As I said, if I'm playing in a key, like if I'm playing in B flat, I don't necessarily know what this minor is. I just know that those 2 will work and that one will work. So I can figure it out. But play around with it, and until you get used to it, just play some simple songs. Following that the pattern based around the rectangle on the bottom 2 strings. Cheers.